Hi there, I'm Chris Gaetano with the New York State Society of CPA's trusted professional. The accounting profession has been undergoing rapid changes in many areas, including its demographics. Over the years, firms have devoted significant resources towards improving diversity within the accounting profession. Despite this, however, it continues to struggle with representation at the leadership level. I'm joined here today with Rumbi Bwerinofa-Petrozzello, the chair of the Society's new Diversity and Inclusion Committee, and Jan Herringer, a Society board member who also serves on the committee. So why is it important for the New York State Society to have a diversity and inclusion committee? Or, if we're going to make the question more elemental, why is diversity and inclusion important in the accounting profession?
If you look at the research that's been done with respect to inclusion in the profession, with respect to women, you have about 50% of accounting graduates who are women. So you have basically at the entry level and thereabouts 50% participation. But as you move up in the ranks of the accounting profession and the leadership positions, there's really perhaps around 20%. So there's a difference there, and we need to know why women are not moving up the way we would expect them to, and if there's something holding them back, what can we do to help that progression? So,
right, and I think. For many years, the New York State Society has had the co-op program, which works with high school students. And this was brought about because of a recognition that there was a serious underrepresentation of people of color in the profession. And apart from it maybe making you feel nice that you have diversity, studies have shown that diverse workplaces, you tend to have diverse sort of ideas and contributions, and that tends to lead to greater success in the workplace. And so there are business reasons for diversity and then and inclusion, and then there are also just moral reasons for that too. So I think it's a sort of a balance of both.
Who would you say this committee then would be for? If I'm not a woman or a person of color, does this necessarily mean that I don't have anything to contribute to this committee?
No, absolutely not. We talk about this all the time, that it's important to have every stakeholder at the table. And when you look at the current structure of our profession, the leadership tends to be heavily male and heavily white. And in order for sort of anyone to move up or to be promoted, they have to be promoted by that very leadership. And so if that leadership does not believe in any of the stances that we take, any of the conversations that we're having about diversity and inclusion, if that's not something they believe in or buy into, then it's never going to happen. And so it's important, I think, for everyone to be involved in a conversation where we are all understanding where we're coming from and what's important to us and how to get to a place where we're all successful. So our current committee is very diverse. We have a range. We have men and women. We have people of color. We have white members. So we have white male members, and so and we're hoping that our committee will reflect our state society.
So today's political environment is, needless to say, fairly polarized. How does one handle potentially contentious conversations surrounding race and gender in an environment like this?
well, I don't think the conversation of diversity and inclusion really is impacted by that, because what we're talking about is doing something, the accounting profession doing something to help us be more reflective of our clients, who we serve, because those are men, women, people of color. It's society at large. So the more that we can reflect them, the better we can be at our business. I think hopefully what we can do at some point is something that hasn't been really done to date, is really to set goals for ourselves, because nothing happens if you don't have a goal. You can have a lot of discussions and things, programs and events, but we need to have some measurable goals, and that's something that I would like to look forward to, is having something measurable that we can move towards, because then we can really have some achievements.
What would be some examples, I guess, of these measurable goals?
Well, measurable goals are very interesting because, you can say, well, the profession has increased to 20%, say, female participation. Well, let's make a goal. Who wants to, like, say we can move up to 25% and in what time period? And those are things that are measurable. And if you don't do that, you're going to waver.
Yeah, I think when you're talking, I was thinking about it. I believe it's in England. I don't know if it's across Europe, but they had a goal of like having, I think, maybe 50% participation of women on boards. And it's not a law, but it's a goal.
Yeah.
And even with that, a lot of companies have increased the numbers of women. And so it's not something that was forced upon them. But I think once you have something to aim towards it, then you know where you're going. Otherwise, you're like, oh, I just want to make it better. But you don't know exactly what better means.
Also, mentoring. When I started, I think the word mentoring, I don't even know if I had understood what it meant when I first started in the profession 20 years or so ago. And it's great, and it's a wonderful way for senior leadership to help young people as they progress into the profession, or even if they're just thinking about the profession, mentor high school students into the profession.
Mentoring has come up from various people because they're like, I struggle at work. I maybe, I've been working for a while, but I don't know how to make sure that I see success in the future. Because I've had conversations even with partners at firms who maybe had seen maybe a woman who was doing well and who they felt would succeed, but then she didn't see herself as a partner, and so she left because nobody had had that conversation with her about success, and she wasn't seeing anyone who looked like her in leadership, and so it wouldn't cross her mind that this is something that could be achieved. And so that's an area in need of improvement. It could be communication, it could just be, sort of getting people to believe that something is possible. And so being a member of the State Society has helped because I have met many women who have gone through sort of similar challenges to mine, and it's great to know that you're not alone and that there are people who, men and women who are invested in your success, and that for me, sort of keeps me going on bad days, challenging weeks. So yeah, just find the support system which is here and persevere.